Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much to talk about. Oh man, topic after topic after topic. It's scary times. It's scary times. Let's get in. Let's get in on the latest. We've got financial fair play. Problems in the horizon in financial fair play. We've got to talk about Mudryk, and apparently Bayern Munich was looking for a loan option right at the end. They were exploring that. We've got to talk about Maatsen, Chalobah, Broja, Gallagher, the pure profit, and so much more to touch base on. So let's get cracking into it, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. I'm not sure whether some of you guys would have seen this news already, but if you haven't, it's circulating around all over Chelsea Twitter at the moment. Former financial advisor to Manchester City, Stefan Borson. Chelsea will certainly fail FFP. The likely buyers know Chelsea need to sell by June 30th. People come up with a list of players Chelsea can sell, but there are no buyers. So check this particular video out. It's coming from talkSPORT. If you're interested to see the entire video, you can also go to Chelsea transfer. They've got that video as well. Basically, what this video talks about, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's clear as daylight that Chelsea will have to sell by 30th June again, much like last summer, where we had to make a lot of sales before 30th June to ensure that last financial period we were within the realms of financial fair play. Similarly, again, we got to do that because we've spent a lot of money. Our owners, our board have spent a ridiculous amount of money, right? And not always for the first team. They've bought players to farm them out to Strasbourg or, loan them out elsewhere. I think the intention was to have a multi-dimensional model set up by now already with a few more clubs, not just Strasbourg. And the idea was that by having all of these youthful players, kids, eventually enough, they're going to rack up a lot of money by developing them and selling them, much like what Brighton does, much like what Dortmund does. And this was the intention, right? But where this has kind of backfired is, one, I think this is where the owners they don't understand the game well enough, right? Where they've sort of misunderstood the situation is it takes time to develop players. And secondly, I don't think they anticipated Chelsea Football Club to be this poor since they've taken over, right? We are 10th, and we've been 10th since they've taken over. This time last season, we were 10th at the exact time. So we've not moved since these new owners have taken over. Last season, we finished 12th. Who knows where we're going to finish this season? So look, there is a clear issue in regards to financial fair play. Now, this particular brother, right, from Manchester City advisor, there are certain parts I think are somewhat true. He's a financial advisor, so he's not some sort of a Mickey Mouse person coming out of nowhere and just giving out some sort of speech on talkSPORT. There is some level of truth that we have spent a lot of money, quite, normally would have to sell a lot of players to balance the books. But what I think we are missing from here is we've reduced our wage bill by a lot. I think we've reduced it by 40 or 50 million, which is a massive, massive reduction. We've also ensured the previous deals that we've done for players, they were for a long-term period. They were over 8-9 years, and the amortization is also over 8-9 years. Obviously, now the amortization has been brought back to the normal 5 years. So there is a little bit of benefit. I'm of the belief that Chelsea Football Club, the one thing we can praise the owners and the board is, look, footballing success is something that I don't think they understand. But at least one thing they probably understand is the business side of things. I would be absolutely shocked if, from a financial fair play sustainability issue, which is, racking up losses consecutively, I think over 100 million over 3 years, I'd be shocked if our owners are not business savvy from that side of things, where they don't have the right accountants to ensure that we don't get into trouble. This is why I guess we see Chelsea trying to do a whole heap of stuff on the side. There's movies happening at Stamford Bridge. We're looking at many different sponsorships. I think Oman Air recently as well, we were rumored to get a sponsorship by them next season. Saudis as well, Saudi Airlines, apparently they were rumored to give us a sponsorship. So I think there's a lot of attributes, there's a lot of things that the Manchester City advisors probably not taken into consideration. But there is problem. I'm not going to deny that. There is 100% problem that needs to be rectified. Further, obviously, this is a lot of people very upset about this coming from talkSPORT. A lot of Chelsea fans not happy. That talkSPORT trying to scare Chelsea fans. Chelsea told they have to raise 100 million in 4 months or face disaster. This is a tweet coming from Yunus, and it highlights this particular picture over here, as you guys can see. And once again, profit on player sales, a lot of things that hasn't been considered in this particular, diagram, in this particular spreadsheet, if you want to say, is there are other factors. This is only purely looking at player sales and the expenses associated with player sales. The football club has other expenses, other revenues as well. Financial fair play is not just purely based on player purchases minus player sales. No, it's all the other revenues, sponsorships, whole heap of other things, merchandise, match day tickets, minus also the wages and everything. So this particular diagram, it's not giving the entire picture, in my opinion. It's not considering every single facet. What it ultimately says is, as Yunus is saying, we're minus 95 million. Now, I don't know whether this is absolutely true or not, that we are minus 95. I think, as I said, if you only look at player purchases and player sales, upon that, the math says that we are minus 95 and we need 100 million worth of sales to balance that. But I don't think it's exactly that. But that aside, as I said, I think there is going to be some level of problem. We could potentially face some level of deduction next season. And this is just the sustainability side of things. Don't forget, Chelsea Football Club are in trouble in regards to the shenanigans that we did with the Willian deal, with the agents. I think there was some things to do with Hazard as well, and a whole heap of other offshore mechanism to raise capital. That doesn't fall into sustainability. That is a different notorious case all on its own. So look, bottom line, Chelsea Football Club are probably destined to get some level of deduction of points next season. And it's going to be detrimental. It's going to be royally detrimental, knowing that 2 seasons in a row under this new ownership, we've been pathetic. And potentially we're looking at a 3rd season where we're going to get points deducted. And once again, it's going to look pathetic. So once you go 3 seasons in a row of being mid-table, I'm telling you, you're going to be deemed as a mid-table team. Now, with this financial fair play situation, it does make me think whether the Osimhen deal is actually possible or not. It does make me think, because Chelsea will have to sell quite a lot of players, and we're not putting ourselves in the best position to sell these players by June 30th. Opposition clubs, rival clubs will know that we're under pressure to sell these players, and if we're demanding 50 million for Broja, we're never going to get that level of money. And so many players have this option to buy on the loan, like, for example, Ian Maatsen. Ian Maatsen has an option for Dortmund to buy for 35 million or 30 million, something like that. That's an option. That's an obligation. So none of this money is guaranteed. I think the only guaranteed money is Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall is the only guaranteed money at the end of the loan. Newcastle, they're bound to buy Lewis Hall for, I think, 30 million or something like that. Besides that, all these other loan moves that we've done, none of them is guaranteed. Romelu Lukaku falls into the same category. Roma, they've not guaranteed us that they're going to buy Lukaku with that release clause of 37 million or 40 million euros, something like that. There's no guarantee there. Conor Gallagher, we're looking to ship him off in the summer window. There's no guarantee that Conor Gallagher will agree on a deal. Somewhat the power is on Conor Gallagher's hands. So we have put ourselves in a serious situation because of the madness that we've done under the new ownership by buying all of these ridiculous levels of players who, at the end of the day, have pretty much not too much impact on our football. Besides Cole Palmer, and Nkunku's been injured as well. I can only think about, besides Cole Palmer, even Malo Gusto has been injured as well. All the other ones not really worked out. Mudryk, classic case. Madueke, another one that is 50-50. And so many more. Chelsea see Gallagher, Maatsen, Broja and Chalobah as good opportunity to generate pure profit and fund other signings. Of course, they're going to be seen as pure profit, but how much are you actually going to get out of them? Are you going to be able to get them sold by 30th of June? People talk about that magic mark, 30th of June. This is important because that's when the accounting period finishes. We do need to get rid of players by 30th of June. This is where that Manchester City brother, that advisor, I think there is some level of truth. Because by 30th of June, the books close and the new year, the new financial year starts. So there is a push. And don't forget, there's Euros coming up this June. So how much these players will be interested to negotiate during that time frame, I'm not really sure. We have put ourselves in a big predicament. This January window that has gone, we've not been able to get rid of Chalobah. We've not been able to get rid of Gallagher. We've not been able to get rid of Broja completely because he's also on a loan. There's no guarantee there. Fulham's got no obligation to purchase the player. And they will definitely not purchase the player for 50 million. There's just no way. So there's issues in the horizon. All right. So let me know, ladies and gentlemen, your thoughts in regards to financial fair play. I think potentially we've kind of screwed ourselves, but I do also feel there are other mechanisms that hasn't been considered. As I said, the wage reduction hasn't been considered. I'll hear about other sponsorships that's going to come in that's not been considered. But we do need to sell players. So let me know your thoughts in regards to all of this. I'm a little bit dubious about whether Osimhen is actually plausible or not. Now we understand why we're going for someone like John Duran. Do you know what I mean? Why, now it completely makes sense why we're going for players that are low wages, low transfer fee, and have some form of, development opportunity about them so we can cash in on them later on. They're young, they're under 23-year-olds. These three criteria, there's a reason why we're going for this type of players. I think now it's understood. But, the owners and the board have put themselves into this mess. Chelsea like Boniface, Sesko and Evan Ferguson. Osimhen's salary demands are more than what the owners are willing to pay. So they would have to make an exception if they went for him. So that's another issue, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm starting to think that Osimhen, I don't know, man. Even though I think he's keen to join Chelsea, I think Chelsea want him too, but there's got to be a lot of things that's got to fall into place. Osimhen's wages is something that our owners are trying to get away from. I'm pretty sure Raheem Sterling, this is his final season. We'll have to find a home for Raheem Sterling very, very soon because of the wages. And on top of that, Raheem Sterling is highly inconsistent. So the wages doesn't justify his performances. So Osimhen, you're looking at minimum 200K. Osimhen could potentially earn 250K if he really wanted to. Teams like Real Madrid, PSG, if they're going for him, even Man United, if they're going for him, they could potentially offer that kind of wages. Man United, I don't know. Man United now, they might operate differently with the new CEO that they've got. But with Osimhen, it's a large release clause. Don't forget, amortization is only for 5 years now. So it's not 8-9 years that you can amortize for, which reduces the cost per year. And the wages are going to be quite exorbitant. So yeah, I'm not really sure about Osimhen really happening at the moment. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Bayern Munich briefly looked at bringing Mudryk in on loan. This is coming from Raphael Hoinstein, The Athletic, and Maatsen, who's that? From Bayern in Germany. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Look, this is this news of Mudryk. That's scary for us. One thing, what these owners and the board, they are already treading in thin ice, right? From a footballing success point of view, there is none. Okay, there is none. We'll see what we can do in the Carabao Cup. I think that will be a bit of a get out of jail if we can win in the Carabao Cup, get ourselves into Europe. That's a massive, get out of jail for these owners and the board, because that's some form of Europe. But if we don't get any level of Europe and this season's already looking like an unsuccessful season, we can't also. So from a footballing point of view, there's no success. But outside of football, from a financial standpoint, if we also start making a mess, then we're in deep, deep trouble altogether. So this is why someone like Mudryk, that's a big financial problem for us now. 62 million, I think his book value after one season is about 55. Someone needs to pay us 55 million to break even on Mudryk. No one's going to pay 55 million right now. No one. And our owners, with the current financial situation that we're in, we cannot make a loss of 55 million. We're at a situation where we're looking to sell players to balance things. But if a player that we have right now is creating a scenario where this is going to be a huge loss for us, that's a bad case for us. That's a bad case. And I know, look, the owners are not going to sell Mykhailo Mudryk, not on a loss, that's for sure. But the fact that we're thinking or potentially may be wondering about a loan move for Mudryk, it's a mad situation. This guy came in supposedly, being the next Eden Hazard, such disrespect. But now it's got to a point where he don't even look like a footballer. He don't even look like a footballer. Next up, AC Milan had full agreement with Benoit Badiashile, but Chelsea blocked the transfer as he started playing regularly. This coming from Di Marzio. When it comes to Italian news, I tend to, take Di Marzio seriously. When it comes to like any of the other sort of English, Premier League kind of news, if he's trying to say a particular Chelsea player is going to, I don't know, Fulham or whatever, then I don't trust him. But when he's talking about a particular Chelsea player linked to an Italian club, there could be some truth behind it. Benoit Badiashile, I remember this news started to circulate around about 2-3 months ago. And when I sort of talked about it, don't be surprised, man, because I've not been too impressed with Benoit Badiashile from the get-go. I know a lot of you guys rated him so highly. I said, no, let's be calm. Let's check him out. I wasn't one of those ones that was watching Monaco when Benoit Badiashile was partnering with SRC. I don't think they were setting the world on fire either. I won't be surprised if Benoit Badiashile is also another player down the track we're looking to get rid of. Obviously, this season, since he's come back from injury, he's been horrific. Every single game, there's been mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Le Havre have described Chelsea's deadline day behavior as scandalous. Malang Sarr was ready to sign a 2.5-year contract, but will now travel back to Chelsea today. Look, another shambolic situation with Malang Sarr. Can't believe this guy's still at the club, but looks like Chelsea did not comply with Le Havre to get this player out of the door. We're still paying his wages. People say that we got this player for free or whatever, but he's been costing a lot of money for us. We've been paying his wages and he's not operating for us. So now it's a pure loss. That's a pure loss. That's an ongoing loss. So look, Chelsea Football Club, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, no success on field. And now if there is no success in terms of financial side of things, and we end up getting points deducted next season, it's not going to be looking good, bruv. It's not going to be looking good, bruv. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, what you feel about everything we spoke about. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time. See ya.